and welcome to Colin's Wonder. For this video, I have another fountain pen review, and it is actually of one of my wife's pens. So she was asking me to review one of her pens, and I picked this one. So something about my wife is she collects white pens. So if you have any white pens that you would recommend, let me know in the comments down below. But she does like white pens, and we are looking for more for her collection. So this is a Sailor. It's a 1911, but I think it's also called a Shikiori. And it is actually a smaller pen if you compare it to these other pens here. It's a little small for me if, I wanted to write with it unposted. So I think, it is a pen you should be posting to write with. Overall, I really do like the shape of this pen. I kind of wish the Sailor I had, which is this 1911 large, they look similar in some ways, but this has these capped finials that are sliced off that I actually like the look of more, and I wish that my Sailor had that same kind of look. I do like all the detail work on here. The engraving looks really good. I like all the accents and the color combination of the white, black, and gold. The nib itself looks pretty good. So this nib is a medium fine in 14 karat gold. Another good thing about this pen is if you are able to buy it from a Japanese retailer, you can get it for under $100, which is what we did. So I think it has pretty good value, and it should be considered as, if you're good with a pen this small. But it's a good, first gold nib pen, in my opinion. It is a cartridge converter, so it does have the, cartridge converter. I don't remember if it came with one or not. So that might be something that you have to pick up along with the pen. I can't remember if ours came with one or not. So what are some things I don't like about this pen? Well, the size. It's a little too small for me. I don't like having to post my pens, so this one kind of requires it, but in some ways I do appreciate it. It's kind of cool how it can go from so small to something that's like, this is reasonable to write with for me. Very reasonable, in fact. I do wish it was slightly thicker. I kind of like the pens a little bit thicker than this. The cap looks great, honestly, but the clip, I kind of wish there was a little bit, I don't know. I don't know what I would change about the clip, but it's a little basic for the overall aesthetic of the pen. I don't want something super ornate, but I just wish the little level of detail in it maybe was just slightly higher. And also the clip is a little stiff. It does actuate, but it is a little stiff for my tastes. Oh, I really do like this end finial here. That is just cool. It looks really good in my opinion. So yeah, let's go ahead. Would I recommend buying this pen? My experience with it, so this whole review is kind of like, take it with a grain of salt, because I don't have a ton of experience with this pen. Just the moments where my wife's, told me to try this new ink, and she's actually let me borrow it for a little bit of time. So I have maybe about a day's worth of writing time with it, all in all. So, take this review for what it is with my small sample size of experience. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the writing sample. Right. So as I said, this is a medium fine nib. The ink is, so the Japanese nibs, in my experience. Oh, I should be writing the ink. Sorry. Wait, what is the ink again? I think it's like Coca de Zeal or something. A little embarrassing. I can't remember how to exactly what the ink is. It's like Coca de Brazil by J. Arbon. But yeah, I'll get some more writing samples here just so complete picture. You can write with it unposted. So let's go ahead and measure this medium fine nib. But what I was trying to say was my experience with both Pilot and Sailor is their fine nibs are really fine and their medium nibs aren't. So I used to love medium nibs. And then I started to appreciate a little bit more of a finer nib with a thinner line. However, I think that an extra fine is just a little bit too thin for me. So I like the fine range. And I do like Sailor Fine and Pilot Fine, but their medium is just a little too thick. So I'm measuring about 0.41 with this ink. So I actually think that's a pretty good thickness, honestly. It writes really smooth considering how fine it is. It is very, I can see why she likes this pen so much. I think you can get some really small thicknesses here, or small words. So yeah, it is a nice writer. Hello, it's me. Sorry to interrupt this video, but my wife decided to make a writing sample for us that's much better than my writing sample. So I decided to showcase it here. She used that same ink and pen. So yeah, her writing is much prettier than mine. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Pen Wars. So just post it. So I'll put Sailor Shikiori, the medium fine nib. Okay, so again, just like my other ones, I pre-scored this, so I can have easy math. So let me go over the appearance. I actually love the shape a lot. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. So, and I wish I didn't have to post it to write. I mean, I can still write with this. This is just a little too short. It does feel much better posted. So just a little bit longer and thicker. Let's see. I like all the trim detailing. The finials here are great. I love that detail there. So yeah, I think the only thing that's really holding this pen back for me is the size. So I'm giving it a 7. The nib itself is really pretty, in my opinion, especially considering how small it is. So as you can see, it's a medium fine. They have MF there. So yeah, I gave this nib a 9. And the clip, I just think the clip needs a little something. I don't know what. Maybe like an accent here or something, just to really bring up the level to what I think the overall look of the pen is. So I'm going to give the clip an 8. And I'm going to give it some bonus points for originality, simply because I know like this shape might be, a more classic shape with pens out there, but this size and just how they implemented it, I do think there's some originality points here. I think it does kind of set itself apart in some ways. So I'm gonna I gave it a 3 there. So that yields a 27 out of 30. And that gets 18 points. So materials. So the materials, I mean, it feels a little more premium in my hands. The resin feels nice. It kind of has this, I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but there's a little bit of glitter in there. It's like snow or something. Kind of how snow sparkles. You can kind of see that a little bit in here. So I do think the materials are a little more premium. So, and with the gold nib. So I'm going to give it a 9. The precision that is made, I can't find any faults, honestly. It feels very precise. I think it lives up to the standard of, Pilot, Sailor, and Lamy. They are kind of, in my experience, very good at keeping their pens well made and precise. It's not as good as like, say a Lamy 2000, but it's hard for me to, compare every pen to that pen. So it kind of stands aside on itself. So I'm going to give it a 10. So nib alignment, it seems spot on. I think this nib is actually crimped in a way that goes around the feed that just helps it stay aligned even more. And I wish more pens would follow that same kind of suit. I don't think it ruins the aesthetic at all. Some of them just, they rely solely on friction to hold in place, but I think this one has some mechanical advantage there too. So I'm going to give it a 10. I didn't find any imperfections. The spare parts, I don't really know what spare parts I can get for this pen. I mean, other than maybe a cartridge converter. I could be mistaken, but I didn't give it any bonus points there. So overall, this gets a 49 out of 50. No, 39. Sorry. I pre-scored it, but then that's why I pre-scored, because I do quick math in my head and then I mess it up. So 19.5 out of 20. All right. So next is the fill mechanism. Sadly, it's a cartridge converter. Those are not my favorite. I don't know why. I just there's something about just it all being in the pen, built in with the piston and how it all works as one unit that I really just appreciate and like. So unfortunately, I'm giving that a 7. The clip itself, I think it functions well enough, but it is a little stiff. I just wish I don't want it to break on me. So, or my wife, I should say. So I'm gonna give it, a 9. I just wish it was not as stiff, and maybe that is quite thick there, but it just takes one bad bend to get it to be ruined. So I didn't find any flaws, so I'm gonna give it there a perfect score there. And there's no special features, so overall this gets a 26 out of 30, and that gets 17.3. All right. So again, limited usage of this pen for me, but so far, and based also on what my wife tells me, it's gonna get some pretty high marks here. So I've had 0 skipping, 0 hard starts. The ink flow feels great, honestly, even considered with it being a medium fine nib, it does feel great to write with. The weight, let's weigh it. This is light. This is a little too light for me, and that's due to its size. So I mean, it doesn't feel cheap at all. It feels like dense. Its density feels right to me. The density is right, but it's just a little too light. So we're at like 20 grams. I think if it was, bigger, it would be better. So I'm gonna give it a 7 on weight. Yeah, I don't want to punish it too bad because it is smaller. The density does feel pretty good. So cleaning, let's ignore that one for now. And then writing. So it does feel good to write with. I enjoyed it a lot. In fact, I enjoyed it a little more than the Lamy. Actually, a lot more than the Lamy, not gonna lie. So yeah, I just think, the caveat is it has to be posted. I think I couldn't write with it very long without it being posted, but it feels nice. If it was a little bit thicker, I think it would feel even better for me, but this is a great writer. So I did give it an 8 here. So this all added up to 55 out of 60. And that got an 18.3 in this category. So price. Now, I think this pen can range from $100 to $200 depending on where you get it. We got it from a Japanese retailer shipped here. So there are shipping costs involved. Maybe I should keep that in consideration. I didn't really before, so I might subtract from the score here just 1 point. I don't know though. I still think it's a great value. It is a gold nib pen, and if you were in Japan to pick it up, right? So I'm not going to punish it too much from that, because again, if I ordered from say Colt Pens, I still have to pay to get it shipped here. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at a 10. I think this is an excellent value for the price. We got it for just over 100 shipped here, and I think I briefly looked and I found it on a Japanese retailer site for less than 100. So I was like, wow, that's crazy to me, but for what you get here, I mean, price is relative, so I understand that might be expensive for some people, but you know, I'm not holding that against this pen. I think it is a great price, and the brand score also is a well-respected brand. So if we add all this up, it's going to get a 93.1, which is a very respectable score. It's the second highest scoring pen I had done so far, and I'm a little worried. Do I have a lot of pens? Some I like more, but probably won't score higher, based because they're going to get penalized on the price, and that's okay. Just because what score I give it doesn't mean I like it more or less. It's just, this is kind of an evaluation I'm doing to just go through this process in my mind to just kind of understand what I like about pens. So I guess that's it. Let me go ahead and show a close-up of the score. And thank you for watching. Consider subscribing and have a wonderful day.